Go over a few drama shit. I'm gonna just do a little drama stream. Jesus, I'm retarded. Probably, yeah. Damn. Oh, I'm dense, yes. I'm very dense, guys. I'm just gonna copy this and we'll begin soon, guys. Alright, this should be good. Okay, let's go do our YouTube. We got 14 followers on Kick, guys. I'm really happy. Our YouTube's doing a little bit better though, for sure. But I just wanna let's do our hashtags. Uh, okay. This should be good. Alright, let's get started. You guys have been stuck on this fucking white screen for too long. Uh, but yeah, we're pretty much ready to go. How you guys doing? Um, yeah, let's get into it. I'm gonna do my YouTube intro because I want to record this. Uh, what's going on, guys? It is your boy Mark here. Um, as you guys know, we've been following a drama, a little Destiny drama of his wife going for another guy, and then Destiny divorcing her or threatening. We're gonna find out today, because Destiny dropped a video talking about it. I didn't expect this to happen, and others have talked about how Destiny's probably not gonna be posting any sort of response. If anything, he's just gonna like. If it isn't that, then it's probably gonna be a manifesto that's gonna be um, like a few pages long, I guess. Yeah, I don't know how long. Like this is like a new guy, and then so we're gonna see here. We've seen a little bit before, and then I've covered this stuff before on my stream and stuff. So hopefully you guys enjoy. I'm just gonna hop right in. Then we're gonna pause it and talk about it, and see how that ends up being. You know.
A lot of manifestos lately. For that 5-hour therapy session, I'd written a huge, I think like, not huge, that's not fair. It was like 11 pages, okay, for our therapy session. And then I wrote a second one for basically like a ton of stuff that I wanted to cover today. So basically, there are two kind of like huge issues that I had relating to anytime. First of all, I've said anytime if me and Melina separate, obviously everybody's going to have their reasons and their opinions, and it plays into literally whatever narrative you want. Because a lot of people I argue with, their narratives can explain literally, whoops, every single thing in life, even if the exact opposite they would predict would happen has happened. People will Yeah, people will make whatever assumptions they think they need to make everything fit. Also, if you've messaged me on Discord, I have not responded to anything in like 2 or 3 days, so don't feel bad about it, okay? So the couple things I want to talk about is that one is I feel like there is a public perception that exists of me in regards to me and Melina's relationship that I feel is very one-sided. I feel like Melina has made a lot of mistakes. I have as well. And I feel like the perception is always that like she's an abuse victim and I'm like this horrible evil person that's difficult to get along with and blah 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 blah. And that's like that's essentially I feel like that's the public perception of our relationship. And that
I
has been
mean,
and that if we ever broken up, like people are gonna
that's not how I see it, but Jesus, it's an interesting way to look at it, Destiny.
look at it as though like, oh, Melina was just like a victim, she escaped, thank God, like Steven is horrible, blah 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 blah, right? That perception really bothers me, given that I feel like we both made our fair share of mistakes. That super bothers me. And then the second thing had to do with that you fed into that, to be fair. I have fed into that. But a lot of it is because I feel like I'm always going to defend my wife, right? Like I'm not going to shit on her publicly, generally. I mean, unless we're like bantering. Like, that's just like, that concept doesn't exist in my mind. Because the concept doesn't exist in my mind because my wife is my second half. Why would I want to shit on like my other half? I feel like it reflects poorly on me. So basically, I wanted to kind of run down like differences in our relationship and things that I feel like were never really fair on my end, or things that I felt like kind of set me up to fail, or things that I've said that Melina is kind of contradicted, but it's actually true, and blah, 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 and like all this shit, basically. I have like a decent collection of like pretty insane stories, and I had kind of written a whole bunch of shit down and blah, 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 blah,
Okay, get
blah.
into it, Destiny.
I had a 3-hour therapy session yesterday. My
Oh
therapist kind of
no.
like talking about things and organizing things and figuring out like what I wanted to do in terms of like everything going forward and blah blah blah. I am I'm going to be honest, okay? There's a lot of really crazy stories here that are really funny that I think paint me in a much different light than the public perception is of me, which is kind of annoys everything about me. Or it's annoying to me that everybody has perceptions. However, okay, I'm ready to lose. Here goes half my fan base today, okay?
Okay, what is he about to say?
I got mega triggered by what I feel like was Melina telling me a lie 4 days ago. And I got unhinged. And I think I told her, I was like, listen, you need to be gone by the time I get back. Get all your shit, leave, blah, 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 blah. I think I didn't want to sleep that night, and I didn't. I stayed up all night. I started like dumping shit in chat. Despite Mel saying things about me privately to other friends and things that I don't feel are fair, I think she is still doing, because I still hear this. I don't think it's my place. I shouldn't be like taking private relationship stuff and like airing that publicly. There's literally no reason to do this. I should have never done this when I was typing in chat. There's no reason for me to do like a public accounting of like a private relationship between me and Mel. As much as I think she's made some deplorable decisions over the past few months, I just don't think it's very fair for me to like, I'm going to do the Mel Manifesto and just completely on her and dump everything on blah, blah, blah. Which is absolutely cucked. And I understand that. And I understand that I'll tell you, and listen, if you want to blame anybody, blame my therapist, because yesterday I was very close to doing a huge, like, we're going to talk about a lot of shit. Then I had I had a really long chat with my therapist, or our therapist, I guess, to try to like sort out my feelings, what I want in the future going forward, like what I think is like the best thing to do. And I basically completely 180'd after that conversation. And I'm like, I probably shouldn't take our whole relationship and then make it public. If for no other reason, basically what I'm looking to do is shit on Mel and attack her reputation to salvage mine, which I could do, but like, I don't know. I see like
His framing for this is so interesting. I don't know why he begins his video like with this. Like, what's the point? That's not the framing from the red pill perspective. Even from his like local community, I don't know if Destiny's really that involved within like the lefty space. It might seem like that for the red pillars, but he's very out of it. He's not very like bread tube. Um, and then regards to his image, like I don't know, I don't know his own perspective on his image, just wrong. But I guess we'll see. Maybe that there's somehow that's involved, you know.
Obviously she's getting a ton of negative comments in her all of her social medias, which sucks. The other guy is too. I don't care about him. He can kill himself. But for I like yeah, my goal here like shouldn't be to like yeah. I just don't think it's appropriate to do that. And Mella's never done that to me, to be fair. She's vague tweeted before, but there is no reason for yeah. Sorry. I of all the possible paths today that I discussed with a lot of people, I basically took the most cooked route. But yeah, out
True,
of yeah,
true,
whatever
true.
respect or undying love I still have for my wife. Yeah, that's we'll see where that where that winds up, and we'll see where that ends up in a few months. I don't know, but okay. We can do like quick questions, I guess. Yeah, I super cucked all of you. If you're here for like the huge manifesto or all the dumping of like my prior relationship shit, yeah, sorry, not. I
Oh,
wanted to trust me. There was a part of me that was like, this is gonna be such a good stream, and we're gonna have so much fun with this. There are so many wild things. Blah 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 blah. Also, though, hold on. Let me say this, okay? Well, I say there are so many wild things that I believe were unfair and blah blah blah. I don't mean in terms of like Mel is like murdered or and like insane wacky shit. I just mean that like there's been a lot of things in our relationship that I feel like was unfair to me. But also like I haven't been perfect in the relationship either, and there are things that have like with Mel really hardcore that I've done or behaviors that I have that like for the reasons why she feels the way she does. So yeah, I don't mean to like present. I'm not trying to present this as though like actually I was totally innocent the entire time in the relationship and Mel was this horrible evil person. That's not true. I'm just saying we both had like our fair share of like dumb shit that we've done. Yeah. Ugh, okay. Are you and Melina finalizing the divorce? Um, I don't know. All I wanted was because of things that have happened. I wanted a post-nuptial agreement signed where all of our we were already like married for a short time. We got divorced. I don't think she would get anything truly. But I just wanted a post-nuptial agreement signed so that all my shit is safe, so that I feel at least like I'm not gonna get blindsided by some wild shit.
okay. Okay. So that's good. So that's good. At least Destiny's not getting fucked in this. Because he's already taking such L's on the optics.
Regardless of anger that I've had towards Melina or blah blah blah, Melina is never the kind of person. I don't think she would ever be the kind of person to like go after somebody's money. But she had no problem signing a post-nuptial agreement, so we've signed all that. So like I'm not like losing any of my shit, even if we do end up filing for divorce in a few months, because maybe we will. I don't know if we will or not. But yeah, that's all of that is. Yeah, there's like I'm not losing anything. Everybody keeps saying like you're losing half and blah blah blah. Do you feel any outside pressure to be careful about how you present this because you're a large poster boy for polygamy? Well, technically it's polyamory, not polygamy. I don't mind being a poster boy for certain relationship styles, but people will say like, it's the comic with, the XKCD comic with the girl doing math. I think somebody actually made this post on my subreddit. I think somebody made this on my subreddit where it's like, if a guy fucks up something in math, it's like, oh, guys suck at math. But if a girl fucks up something at math, then, oh, girls suck at math, right? No matter why my relationship style or relationship ends, and I said this before, it's always going to be blamed on it being an open relationship or whatever, which people want to, that's fine. But like, I had 4 really long-term relationships prior to this, and nobody said like, oh, that ended because it was that ended because they were closed relationships, or like when Crowder and his wife got divorced, like, oh, obviously it ended because it's a closed relationship. Like that's dumb. So yeah, I don't know. If people want to say that like it's because of this that, I mean everybody's free to make their guesses. But basically, I mean I will say that every single thing that like Red Pillars predicted about my relationship, or every single thing that Red Pillars like said would happen, like literally the exact opposite of that happened the entire time. But like,
Well, okay. This is kind of weird though, right? Like, what the fuck? Okay. Technically, everything that the Red Pillar said was right. But then also, when you get into the details, it really doesn't. I mean, we'll get into it. I might just at the end of it, before the video ends, just throw it in. But if Destiny doesn't say this, but yeah, it's just crazy to look
They'll
at.
also still try to find a way to twist it. Somebody linked a clip asking me how I predicted the future here, and I think I even know what this is referencing without saying it, but wait, hold on.
A lot of getting pussy, from my perspective, honestly, is just having the temperament to be able to hang out long enough. Forever, you will see a hot-ass chick with a loser-ass boyfriend, but that's a guy who just has the patience and the fucking lack of ambition that he just is down to just, like, his ambition is wanting to date a girl who's too good for him.
Oh, dude, wait, when you have to, no, I'm sorry, you bring this up. One of the worst things when you are in your chasing years, you're trying to chase, so I would give up on these immediately.
Right.
When you see a girl, and there's another guy chasing that girl, and he's a f***ing loser, and I'm like, this motherfucker's gonna spend all day texting her. He's gonna want to go and hang out for 6 hours. I'm on my career grind. I don't have fucking time for that. You're just like, you win, you have it. I hated competing with those, and you're talking to the girl, like, well, come on, what the f***, see this guy? He's like,
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to like dump on that too much. Sorry. I shouldn't fixate on that. That is true though. But I'm not gonna fixate on that. Okay. I'm already like making too many passive aggressive comments on it. Hold on. Let me read these donors real quick. Hi, to say person, I feel like there are certain things I thought Mel would never do, and that is exactly one of the reasons
Why is he baiting like this?
you put your eyes on.
I fucking hate when he baits like this. It's been like 10 minutes into the video.
Something that I said before that is still true and will be true of me in future relationships if I don't swear them off forever. And that is that I'm a very hard person to be with for two reasons. For one reason. It's really for one reason. And one is because I spend a lot of time working and like focusing on work and fixating on work. And that makes it really, really hard to be in a relationship with me because the amount of attention and time you get from me is incredibly compromised, severely compromised. Even my friends complain about this. So that's a legitimate grievance to have. And I can understand. I'm not even sure like where she's out on everything. I truly have no idea. I have things that if we do a relationship going forward, there are a few like really big changes that I would want in a relationship that I feel more comfortable like vocalizing now. And I don't know if she'd want that or not. I have no idea. So that's a future Steven problem. So I'm not sure. I'm not against poly relationship shit, but isn't it just statistically more like a relationship like that? Like what are the percentage chances? Because all of these things are very, 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 very personal, you know? Like I'm not sure actually, I'm making this up, but if I had to guess, like interracial relationships probably have a higher chance of failure, but I would never not date like a Hispanic or a black person or an Indian or an Asian person. Like I would never not date somebody who's like, well, statistically speaking, like, I don't know if we're actually like, I don't think I would ever think about it that way. Yeah. I see this brought up a lot. Would you ever do open relationships again? The way that my brain is wired, the way that I like to spend time with people is I will probably always gravitate towards that relationship style. I have a really hard time imagining myself being in like a monogamous closed relationship. I don't think that might change in like 10 years. I don't know, maybe, but right now I definitely don't see that happening. Yeah. What would she have to publicly say about you for you to go, you know what, f it, Mila Festa? I mean, like if I felt like she went, live and started like lying about me, obviously like, okay, well now we have to have a conversation about this. You say you're super busy with work even for one partner. Why not? Well, I feel like when you're poly or open, I feel like the expectation hopefully changes a bit on where you can draw attention from. So, yeah. Why does it seem like it feels really weird to me that when the debate was sold as a sex worker debate, like pro or anti-sex worker.
He's not even talking about
a lot of his lifestyle. And I do shit talk his lifestyle. I will say openly, like one-sided open relationships are dumb. This red pill shit is dumb. And a lot of it is I am referring to what he's saying. Okay. But Myron is a really classy, respectful dude. Like he DM'd me, he said he was sorry. I think he even said specifically when he texted me, I didn't even respond to him because my brain was so that I didn't respond to him. I think he said specifically, it's like, yeah, like, bro, we're not going to like go in on you like super hard and all that shit or whatever. Yeah, which I appreciated. I saw his comments. I thought they were fair in that obviously I disagree with them, but like, I don't think he was like taking shots or being crazy or any stupid shit like that. So yeah, Myron is for as much as I disagree with him. And I think some things are kind of like the on the podcast and all that weird shit that I think are,
yeah. And it's also fair game. So
like scummy and I think Myron's like a stand-up guy. He is, or at least everything that I've seen, it seems to be the case that he is. Yeah. Turkey Tom's video was weird. Maybe. He messaged me and he asked me if he could do it. And I was like, oh, and I set a boundary. I think I did. Because initially I was going to respond and I was like, bro, knock yourself out. Just because we're friends, I don't like limit the content you can do. And then I deleted that and I was like, you can make a video if you want, but like, please don't just like hardcore shit on me. I made that request. It was a hard one to make and I did it. I was proud of myself for it. Oh yeah, I said, yeah, you're good. Just try not to shit on me too hard. There you go. Why didn't you do a prenup? Why didn't I do a prenuptial agreement? A little bit of naivety, a little bit of I make so much money if somebody takes a few million from me, whatever. Also a little bit of like, I really don't feel like Mel would ever do that. That'd be crazy. Although that's a really stupid thing to say about a 20-year-old. But I mean, like, she still hasn't. Like, to be super clear, like, my therapist told me not to ask this in therapy because she said it was a really aggressive question, but I kind of had to. Like, I asked Mel, like, straight up, like, will you pay me back right now? Because I fronted her $100,000 for a lot of the Swedish tax shit. I was like, will you pay me back this money? Because I don't know now if we break up. Will you pay me retroactively your half of the back rent on this apartment? Because now it feels weird that like you haven't ever blah, blah, blah. And then will you sign a post-nuptial agreement to just in case if we do divorce in the future, if we try again or blah, 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 like to protect my shit or whatever. And on every single one of these, Mel was like, yeah, sure, I'll do that. Yeah, it's fine. Like she didn't fight. She didn't argue. She didn't like always like, I don't think she's the kind of person to ever be like a gold digger or money. I know that like that's the red pill perception of it. But like, again, like these guys don't understand anything about relationships or they only talk to gold diggers, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. So that was, yeah.
Okay, so at least they're getting their shit sorted. I don't know. Should Destiny do it, honestly? If we look at this whole situation, it is very embarrassing for him, but also this might be just a bump in the road instead of like a full-on divorce. Um, yeah, I just wanted to come in and say that.
Thoughts of people using your breakup as ammo against you in the future? I mean, red pillars might. I don't think a conservative would. That feels weird, like for a political conversation. And then also, like, relationships end. Like, it happens, you know? As sad as it might be, like, not every relationship is going to last forever. Like, I'll predict this right now, okay? I'm 34, 35 tomorrow without my wife on my birthday. Feels good, man. I'll probably get into another relationship. It will probably be an open relationship, and it will also probably end at some point because I don't know if the next person I start dating is going to be like the person I'm with or something. It'll happen. And then when it happens, people will run through, depending on how alive or dead the river is, the same argument. It's like, oh, it failed because it was open and blah, 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 blah. Like, that's life, you know? Sometimes you try, it doesn't work. What are you going to do, you know? Do you have any non-online people you talk to this stuff about? Yeah, I've got a lot of like really good friends and everything that I talk. Nothing wrong with that guy. He's just in the same friend group. And it's just that. There was nothing like super dramatic or like that guy's never done anything weird or bad or wrong or yeah, anything like that. Yeah, he was just like in the friend group. Did you see it all coming or was it a blind side? Like 50-50, yes and no. Like one of the things I've always talked about with Melina when we fought in the past, and really any relationship partner, is that like at some point, like I don't know if you're going to be able to meet a guy who gives you more attention or more time or more validation or whatever. Like these people historically for me have always been really hard to compete with because I just don't have, one, those aren't traits that I naturally excel in anyway. And then two, because of how much deliberate effort and time it takes, I just can't compete with people like that. It's impossible. Yeah, I can't. Like I would rather be trying to like, I would rather like Andrew and Tristan Tate were trying to like rizz up my girl and I have to like defend her against them than just like kind of like a quiet dude that is like, I'll talk to you for 20 hours a day and give you like all the attention or validation. Like that's so much harder. There's so much more work. Holy shit. Again, let me be clear though, not to say that like one thing is good or bad or not that like anything is, I'm not saying that her style of relationships or that style of guy is necessarily good or bad or whatever. Different people like gravitate towards different things. Destiny, do you think that because a lot of viewers consider you competent, the expectation is that you can make a relationship work, so failure must be your bad lifestyle? Maybe. I mean, like, I see a lot of people say a lot of weird things about, like, advice I give and shit that I, like, know. I always say this, like, and I've said this a million times, one of the reasons why I think I have a lot of good advice and understand a lot of things is because I've made a lot of these mistakes, and I can literally give you both sides of it. Like without giving too much information on like personals between me and Mel, once things started to head a certain way, I knew exactly where everything was headed. Probably about 2 months, for sure about a month ago, and probably about 2 months ago. I knew every single thing that was going to happen. And I would even argue with, you know, my partner about this, and she's like, oh, well, you know, fine, I guess you know them better than I do, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this is like, I see where this is going to go. So a lot of the times, like, people mistake advice as it coming from like, oh, well, I'm going to tell you about the gym because I'm the most shredded guy in the world. Or I'm going to tell you about relationships. Quick thing. Okay. Get this out of your system. Actually, don't. We're done. Hold on. I said this in chat before. Okay. No insults about Melina or the guy she may or may not be seeing. I don't.
For a while, but here's the thing.
Shit.
My girl left me like 2 weeks ago, and she left me because I don't feel bad. 'Cause I really get upset about.
We don't feel bad, nigga.
Destiny, what was the difference between when you got obsessed with that mystery girl and now when Melina is mindful, one into the relationship and the other didn't? Well, for hold on, I want to see if I can. I don't want to like dive into details for anybody. I'll say that. I think I can say this. When I up, I acknowledged that it was a up, and I was like, listen, yeah, this was bad. I'm not going to defend any of this. Like, I was being stupid here. I did get mindful. I did, like, this was bad. It was bad. Like, that's it. And when I've described it to any friend, when I've talked about it with Melina, like, I've always said as much. Like, there's no excuse here. Like, this is just me up hardcore. I feel like Melina doesn't feel like she's made any in regards to how she's treated things. So that was like our big disagreement there. But yeah. But obviously, like, there's a lot of problems. People have different perspectives on everything and all of that. So, I mean, yeah, everybody has a, people, like, there's always going to be, like, probably, like, 4 sides to any stories related to relationship stuff. But
Okay,
that's
yeah,
the,
no shit.
yeah.
What do you think it really, really was?
I honestly don't know. I think I drove her a little crazy, but it was just like the point where she was like, one night she'd be like, I want to break up with you. The next night, never even happened. The next night, I want to break up with you. And I'll just be
What
like,
did you say when she said she wanted to break up?
I said, all right, if that's where you want to be.
Good man.
All
Take
right.
me back, dude.
Let me
You're
ask
doing a
you.
good thing, though. This guy's fucking a real soldier. Because one thing you did is that they need an emotion to feed off. Women can't stay logical long.
Exactly.
They can't stay logical long. So when you told her that, okay, that's what you got to always do when a chick busts out emotion on you, got to be cold. I know it's hard because she might have beautiful eyes and she's like, it's a shark analogy.
All right.
But I'm 100% confident that won't happen. I just trust me. I know that won't happen. Do you feel like people have any kind of responsibility to make comments on self-destructive habits of partners after a breakup, or should that be kept to themselves? Unless there's like severe abuse going on, maybe. Or like sexual assault, maybe. I generally don't think that you should ever comment publicly. I think that's inappropriate. I shouldn't have made comments in chat. I was just triggered.
All right, it doesn't seem like Destiny's gonna give us that much. I'm gonna just skip to the bit of the end of the VOD. Yeah, I mean, the one thing I do want to say is like I do wonder what kind of people are gonna go out of their way to, dunk on Destiny for this. Obviously, like from the Red Bull community. Like, I know what he said about Myron, and I do think that's true, but I do think that this will be used in the future for sure. Yeah, I'm just gonna skip forward like to like 5
Man,
minutes
there's
left.
way more women than men. But yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Dusty, I'm not taking relationship advice from you. Then don't. You don't have to. Go trust somebody else that's never been in a relationship before. That's fine. I don't give a fuck. Knock yourself out. You don't have to believe anything I'm saying. Did it really take y'all this long to find out if you're incompatible on this thing? Yeah, it's taken me a long time to like set appropriate boundaries and make appropriate asks in personal relationships. It's just a very, very, very difficult thing for me to do, but I'm getting better at it. Another person's perspective, a professional one, is crucial. We miss so much we don't even realize that. True. Your therapist 10,000% watches your stream. I don't think so. She's like, fuck, I don't want to get her age wrong. I think she's like 50. Do you think being platonic friends first is impossible? I don't want to turn into a whole fucking relationship advice stream. I don't think you can start from platonic and move to romantic. It's happened and it's possible, but in general, no. I think you set the vibe very early on. Even with people that you, it's platonic. Oh, platonic, sorry. Even if you set you can still set a romantic vibe early, or you can set like a non-friendly vibe early, even if you're not going to date them or fuck them. Like you could both be in a relationship, still have that like style of like communication. But if you set like a platonic vibe really early, or they feel that, it's very rare that would change into something romantic. Destiny, isn't a lot of your dating advice given from the perspective of a very rich, fairly famous person? Is this really good advice for the average man? Listen, if you think I'm saying anything wrong, then that's fine. I had a kid and I had hookups and I dated before I ever got into streaming. Also, I'm pretty sure I hook up a lot more than any of the streamers in this sphere. But if you don't trust me, if you don't believe it, that's fine. The only thing I question though is when people will say things like, I don't trust your advice because you're a wealthy streamer. Which also, by the way, I admit that obviously like gives me access to way more fucking people than a normal person. I totally understand that. But people will say things like, I don't trust your advice because your perspective is so different. I'm going to go and listen to all of these red pillars. And it's like, okay, well, like, why would I trust him? It's like Rolo's advice on anything having to do with women. He's been married to one woman for 40 years. Like, I don't know if this guy knows anything about like what modern hookup culture is like, what modern women think, but people will take his word as gospel. And it's like, this motherfucker, you know, found his wife at Woodstock. Why would he have anything to say? Like, when this guy was courting his wife, he didn't even have to text, right? Like, this is totally different, you know? Not to say that because of that, Rolo gives bad advice. Like, I would attack his advice on more factual grounds, but I'm just saying, like, people will say things like, oh yeah, yeah, I don't trust your advice because you're out of touch. I'm gonna go listen to all of these other influencers that are definitely more in touch. That's like a little bit weird to me, but you know. Why are you less critical on therapy now? When have I ever been critical on therapy? Therapy is like generally always associated with positive outcomes in basically everything. Does your son or his mom know? No, but like, I don't know how many times. I think I've mostly seen Nathan. I wasn't able to get much insight or help from a therapist, but talking to friends has actually helped me a lot on that. And talking about relationships over the relationship counselor was very helpful. Somebody said, Destiny, a 40-year relationship is a successful marriage, though. No? Wouldn't people see your failed relationships and be more wary? If it was the case that Rolo was only giving advice on how to maintain a marriage, that is actually, as funny as it sounds, I would actually be super interested in hearing Rolo talk about for 2 years, how do you maintain a successful marriage? That would actually be real. I'd be curious because he does.
Yeah, and you know, Destiny is right. If if Rolo wants to actually make some good content, I think that's what he should do. I bet he actually has some really good techniques to kind of, you know, keep things smooth, you know. 40-year marriage and you being a red pillar, it's like, I don't know. Because isn't the red pill supposed to be like for guys who are just, they can't, you know? I don't know. Who knows at this point? Anyway, guys, thank you guys for coming. I'm just gonna end the video here. You can sit here, still continue watching me stream. I'm just gonna chill around for a little bit and then go offline. I just wanted to come in because I saw this video and I didn't want to lose. I didn't want. I just wanted to jump on the opportunity. And yeah, thank you guys for coming. Yeah, have a good one. Make sure to follow, subscribe, like, comment, all that shit. Have a good one. All right,
Does
guys, let's
have,
continue.
he's a social figure, so there's a lot of public, a little bit of naivety, a little bit of I make so much money if somebody takes a few million from me, whatever.
Okay, let's go back to his channel because I don't know. I don't know. This was his latest, right? Yeah. And then there's this panel. Okay. All right, cool. Let's go and Kick. Let's check out Kick. Let's see if there's anybody cool streaming. No, there's actually literally nobody. Let's go to Kick. Let's go to fucking Twitter then. Let's fucking go. Oh man. I think I saw a little bit of that stream. No, I did not. That's not any Kanye. Damn.
Bruh. Sneeko fucking ratted on us. Sneeko's like, aha, you're funny for that. Sneeko ratted. El Sneeko for ratting.
You know Sneeko in the chat?
What?
Sneeko ratted on you?
No, Sneeko.
Yeah.
Streamer.
Sneeko. He's a streamer. Oh,
yeah, he ratted on us, bro. Dude, he wasn't even streaming and he ratted on us. He snake off cam, bro. Snitch off.
Who cares? I don't care. Okay, boring clip. Why am I being shown this? Oh Jesus. I'm fine to show that. Oh shit. Action Man's been banned? Holy crap, guys. For what though? For what? Oh my god, is this true? Damn. I feel like Zerka's being good here. Good comments from Zerka. Trying to feel defensive over his boy who started his career. That's good. Listen, guys, there's not a lot of things going on. Adopting children should be strictly forbidden. A child being an orphan is bad enough. You think they want to be raised by even worse, in fact, that one of these guys is a sex offender. Sickening. True. I don't know. I know this guy. He's famous on some show. And then Shane was blowing up a while back, and then he gave this guy a spot on his show. I forgot the name of the show. I think shit, but I think it was FAC or What the FAC or something like that. I don't know. I might be tripping on that, but I think Shane is involved in some very sketchy shit. All right. Bro, no. It's all cool though, guys. Shit, what should we do? Should we watch a quick Shed Logic stream? We might. Why not, you know? He always got the good news.
Eggshells around the guy and do what he wants. Legal trouble with this trans porn person.
But honestly, this is some very, like, out of my space type drama. Keffel, Xanderhall at war. I don't give a shit about Keffels. I don't give a shit about Xanderhall. That's more like Destiny space. Whatever. This is a good channel.
How's it going, boys? Welcome back to Mogul Mail. In this video, we're going to talk about women. Stick around to the end because we're going to solve sexism in this video. Now, I haven't posted in a couple weeks because nothing's inspired me, but I saw a tweet from It's Timmy, the Apex Legends god and good friend of the stream, that said my clips were taken out of context in a video that invalidates and diminishes the experiences of women. And, you know, I was curious. So I clicked on the video and I watched what I can only call the Ocean's 8 of YouTube videos. Just a hot, stinking pile of garbage. And it is titled, How Feminist Ideas Make Everyone Weak.
I appreciate the compliments. Thanks. Also, did anyone notice that he crapped on the all-female Ocean's 11 as a way of insulting me? Be careful, you wouldn't want to be labeled as a misogynist. So recently, a lot of creators who disagree with me have been reacting to my content. Normally, I just kind of ignore this stuff because going back and forth between reactions like that movie Inception is annoying, and I don't find that kind of stuff entertaining. Particularly if there's no bigger narrative that's not just, this guy disagreed with me, let me tell you all the ways he's wrong. It just creates drama, and nobody really learns anything from it. But on this channel, I talk a lot about the most important thing not being who is right politically. The most important thing is de-radicalizing people and trying to create bridges that help everyone get along. And that's the common problem that I see with all these reactions. Whether or not these people have the correct opinion, they're exhibiting tons of behaviors that will radicalize their audience and divide people. I'll start with a little backstory. Over a month ago, Vosh reacted to my channel.
Yeah, probably. This channel's gonna get big. Well, it's already big.
Thanks for having faith in me, Vosh. Then Hassan reacted to me and said my content was awesome.
Dude, this is awesome. Okay, this guy's great.
Thanks, Hassan. I appreciate that. Then this guy reacted to me, whoever he is. And last, Ludwig reacted with the video that you saw in the intro clip. These creators reacted to a couple of videos of mine, but the most interesting reactions were to my video on the 2 documentaries from Vice and the BBC, which were basically plausible deniability pieces asking why women don't do well in esports, that were a lot more about promoting censorship and sexist affirmative action programs than they were about honestly investigating why women don't do as well as men in esports. You can tell that was the case because instead of asking very obvious questions of player demographics and competition, time invested in the skill, and realistically assessing the skills of the people involved, or talking about competitive trends like the Pareto distribution, they immediately go to the patriarchy and to pushing for women to get competition spots they didn't earn because they happen to be born female. Without wasting any more time, let's get into the behavior that I think radicalizes people.
Now, we're going to go through a lot of this. You can see all the notes at the top and really dissect this video and why it has zero information.
Really? There's no information that I got right? Now, I can understand if you don't agree with the theme of the video, but I spent a lot of time talking about skill building. Work really hard, try to find a mentor who is already successful, and network with friends who have similar goals. This advice is the main reason why I made that video, and it's also a big reason why people watch my channel. You agree with none of that? I have a hard time believing that because you wouldn't have the success that you have if you didn't do at least one of those things. It's important to note that stuff because people are nuanced, and when you say your opponent can do nothing right by starting your video out with the energy of, there's no information here and I agree with nothing, you are vilifying that person to your audience, which will lead to extreme reactions and behaviors from the people who follow you because they believe they are righteously attacking someone who is evil and irredeemable. This is why when you write pinned comments like this one, tons of your followers disagree with you and go and do the behavior that you're telling them not to do. If you want to keep things peaceful, how you say things matters. We all have to be careful about how we say things when it comes to disagreements.
See, I don't know if this is cherry picked, like at all.
That being said, here's professional Apex Legends player It's Timmy doing the same thing Ludwig did in this tweet right here. My clips were taken out of context. I do not agree with any of the ideals portrayed in this video at all. None of them? No ideal in my video was good? If you don't agree that hard work pays off, then why do you work so much?
My entire life is literally online. I literally wake up, hit the live button, go to turn off the stream, go to bed.
Again, I understand if you don't like the main premise of the video, but there is no way that I said absolutely nothing that you agreed with. And personally, I am very careful to not portray people as 100% bad, even if I just give them one tiny point that's good. Simply saying I don't agree with the video instead of I don't agree at all is enough to let people know your position without suggesting that your opponent is incapable of good. The second part of Timmy's statement is something that people who disagree with me love to accuse me of. Timmy said that I took his clips out of context. That's not true. His clips were fully in context, I described the events, and I put the source material in the description.
My only problem with these like Twitter videos where you go over like people's tweets and you do character attacks and shit like that, like half of the people engaging, they haven't even watched the shit that you watched. Like, did they look at that? Did they go through it all? No. And I'm not claiming to be the person that goes through everything, but I'm not gonna be, you know, making a whole like video debunking people who have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. Easy dunks, but you know, also there has to be a bit more. I don't know.
Description so people could fact check it. I don't know how I could have been any more honest, though I will admit that I messed up the interpretation of this particular clip.
I killed one. He's low. Both on me. Bud's one. He's trying to thirst for armor. Nice. Get him.
I can't do that. He full killed you? What a bitch, bro.
I said the bitch comment was directed at Timmy as an example of banter. People who reacted to it said it was directed at the other player, not Timmy. So I rewatched the clip to verify, and I do admit they were correct. I was flat out wrong there. It happens. Sometimes creators get things wrong, and the most difficult part about this job is that people really do expect you to get everything right. Seriously, you better not make a mistake, and even Ludwig agrees with that.
But let's be real. One bad analogy, throw the whole video away. It's just how it works, okay?
He's right. If you screw up an analogy or a metaphor, it will kill the video because people will hyper-focus on that mistake and ignore everything else. You'd be surprised how much one mistake can screw up an entire video. So my bad. If I had caught that mistake before the video released, I would have used a different example. That being said, let's talk about the stuff I think Ludwig got wrong. And a key feature of many of these bad takes or interpretations is that the people reacting didn't let me finish my point.
But
I'm gonna get so much shit from Isaac, because you know, I might agree. It might be a problem. You know, Ludwig is a good streamer. But is he a good streamer? Or is there things in the background? Who knows?
But it turns out that 50% of the people who play the esports aren't women. 50% of the people who play Dota aren't women. And he even goes into this.
Earlier they said Dota 2, right? What percentage of women play that game? 20%. What about another popular competitive game like Fortnite? 27%. Higher than Dota, but you can still see that there are way more male players than females, so it statistically makes sense for almost all the top players to be male.
Okay, going through that logic for a moment, let's just draw on that string. If 20% of the players are female, then through his logic, 20% of the top players should be female, or at least a close enough number.
Yeah, except you left out my explanation on why the number of female winners isn't reflective of the total number of women who play the game. First of all, it might be the case that not all 20% of women playing the game are competitive. So it might be 80-20 for total players, but maybe it's more like 90-10 male to female for competitors. I don't have the stats on that, but if that's the case, then it would explain some of the disparity. But more importantly, the way competition works is that the same people always win. It's called a Pareto distribution. That trend is repeated in a ton of areas, and yes, it will be a super tiny fraction of participants who get everything. So when you have a competitive space that's 80% male, it's more likely that those guys will win, and once they do win, they are very much set in stone as the top competitors. That's the important nuance that Ludwig just skipped over. You can agree or disagree with that, but if you're trying to keep me in context, let me finish my point or at least describe it in your own words. Otherwise, you aren't giving the audience a fair interpretation. Especially when you're in an environment where it's winner take all.
And that doesn't even make any damn sense. You think the International's winner take all? Have you ever seen an esports tournament in your damn life? That'd be insane. You walk away with $40 million, and second place walks away with a thumb in their ass? It's usually
Ludwig is actually pissing me off. Yes, majority of tournaments are like that. All of like his only experience is what? I don't know, like the big games, right? But majority of tournaments don't even have that shit. Like it's literally top 5 and everybody else gets nothing. You can get $100, but if you're traveling to a tournament, you're spending more money than that. So is everybody competing at the tournament there? Yeah, I guess everybody gets a little bit of money. Who cares? I don't have any real statistics to bring up, but I know that I'm speaking on facts, all right?
like a 45%, 40%, maybe 50 if you're generous towards first place, and then the other 50% spread over to like the next usually 7 spots. That's how a tournament goes. So I don't think you've ever seen a damn esports tournament in your life, but
to clarify, when I said winner take all, I didn't mean that only first place gets the prize money. I know how competition works, and I know that people who don't get first still get prize money. What I meant by winner take all is that a couple people make all the money and everyone else makes nothing. That's typically something that describes creative fields, like YouTube. Tons of people try to be successful at YouTube, only a handful of people make a living. Compared to a welder, where if you take the classes and apply for the job, you're most likely going to leave with money in your pocket. As for the rest of these arguments, obviously I can't respond to everything. Otherwise this video would never get finished. So if I don't pick your favorite comeback from someone who reacted to me, I'm sorry. What I will try to do is pick out the arguments that were strongest from them, and a lot of that's going to be based off of what I saw their audience saying the strongest arguments were. Here is one of them.
At 7-Eleven, we're open 24/7, so you have a one-stop place to shop in the neighborhood.
Oh my god, that's so fucking funny.
And he goes on to quote a Pew Research article from 2014 and talks about how men actually deal with more harassment online.
They mean to you. Everybody raised their hand, right? This is not exclusive to women. Here's data from Pew Research about online harassment from 2014. Most of the categories are even. Look, it says here that men are 7% more likely to be harassed online than women are when you look at all types of harassment.
Okay, that's a 2014 article from Pew Research. Pew Research does this article often. I don't know why he went back to 2014. Again, this video was posted literally a couple months ago. They did a 2017 version and then a 2021 version. I looked it up, and it turns out that if you do the more recent one, the numbers have changed a bit, interestingly enough.
I know this was everyone's favorite point. It was also my favorite point, and I'll tell you why. For one, understand that Ludwig has a staff to help him with this kind of stuff, or save him time in other areas.
I can't do that now because I have 15 employees.
Outside of the guy who makes my thumbnails, I don't have a staff. I do all of this by myself, which means I only have so much time before people start saying, "Oh my god, where's the next video? You take forever." So I have to use certain time-saving techniques. I already had this study on hand, and I had already read all 8 pages of it, so I reused it. Yes, it's old. I wasn't trying to hide that. I mentioned how old it was in the video. For those of you who don't know, research for sociological studies are typically considered out of date after 5 years. But you don't always have people studying the same topics every year, so if a study is older, you have to ask, why would this change? My suspicion was the numbers wouldn't be significantly different because there isn't really a reason for that abusive tendency to have changed. Domestic violence is a similar category, and that's been perpetrated pretty evenly by men and women for a long time. A family member of mine was a researcher on it, and those numbers have been stable since like the 70s. So my thought was, this video is taking forever, the numbers probably aren't different, therefore I don't need to spend time looking for more recent data. It's not as simple as, well, obviously Pew has done this study multiple times over the years. Again, I don't have employees like Ludwig does to look this stuff up for me, so I didn't know that Pew updated the study, and typically it takes lots of hours spent reading irrelevant crap just to find research that is talking about the subject that you're discussing. Anyway, here's the great part. The 2014 numbers I cited from Pew are almost exactly the same as the numbers from 2021. I was right. They were consistent. Now, there's not a huge difference.
Then I don't get it. Why was it such a dunk for Ludwig to fucking bring that up?
Difference between the total harassment that men receive versus women, so I will still say that men and women get harassed at a pretty similar rate, with men being harassed slightly more. But then Ludwig goes for the killing blow.
They did a 2017 version and then a 2021 version. I looked it up, and it turns out that if you do the more recent one, the numbers have changed a bit, interestingly enough, and the amount of gendered harassment has increased from 20% to 33% among those who were harassed from 2017 to 2020. So it turns out that this is becoming more of a problem. Maybe we should look at newer stats.
Great, except that's not what I was talking about. I understand that's what you guys were talking about, but since we're talking about what I was saying, my point in the video was about the erasure of harm that happens to men. I watched 2 different news reports about harassment, and neither of them made any mention of men going through similar experiences, because the reality is that men do go through those experiences in video games. Now, I don't think this talking point has to be their whole video, but you could have at least said something.
I keep doing this where I forget to turn on my audio, but like, I honestly can't stand this. I really don't give a shit about the fucking men shit. Not anymore. I don't care. Good video though. Good analysis. Ludwig didn't even fucking get it. But you know, it's chill. I'm gonna end the stream though. There's not a lot of good memes to cover. And yeah. How are you guys? It's been a little bit. Whew. Yeah, it's been a little bit. How are we doing? Yeah, I'm gonna end stream. Should expect an upload soon. I'm gonna make a thumbnail for it, and should be good. Yeah. See you guys. Thanks for coming in.